Good morning, everyone. This is Jace Forster with Studio 301, and today we're here with Coach Todd Mabus of the Lockhart Lions. How you doing today, Coach?
Good, yourself?
Doing pretty good. So we had a tough loss this past Friday to Hendrickson. The youth of the team was on full display that night. What did you have to say to the team to keep them motivated after the game for the rest of the district run?
Oh, we were certainly disappointed in the outcome, and I think once we, watched it, we knew that we could have probably handled some situational things better, and I mean, it's part of football, it's part of life, got a lot of district left, got a tough district schedule left, and so, you have to be able to learn from your shortcomings, which, we experienced last Friday. And you got to grow. I mean, there's not really any other options. You can sit there and let it bother you and everything else, and it needs to bother them. I mean, from a disappointment, competitive standpoint. Our outcomes are in our control. And we work really hard. Throughout our whole program to be able to get the outcomes to win. And when we fall short, we've got to be able to learn from it. And I mean, we've got to move forward.
What are a lot of the things that you, the coaching staff, and the players all saw that y'all could definitely improve on?
I think it's a lot of the stuff that we did a week prior, we didn't do as well last Friday night. So there's, we're far from a finished product, The thing is, it's details and it's just little things, I mean, there's so many times where we have, an opportunity for a big play, and we just need somebody to take not as deep as a path as they took. They take a deep path. Now that kind of slows the play down, and when you're playing an explosive team like Hendrickson, now they make the play, whereas if we're pulling around or doing something a little bit tighter and we're able to be more efficient on the play, now we break it and it's a huge play, and you think, oh, well, look how successful we are. So, I mean, the margin for error is very, very small in 5A football in general, and especially the district that we play. And so, it's just continuing to refine those little things. I mean, there's so many things that happen in the game of football on any particular play, where your eyes is, how your leverage is, what type of angle you take, all this type of stuff goes into making a football play successful or not, and, usually the teams that are successful are the ones that are operating, on one side of the ball, very, very efficiently, and there were times, in all three phases that we weren't as efficient as we needed to be.
Yes, sir. So, coming from, last year, you had big-time quarterback Ashton, and these past couple of years, you were able to rely on him. Now you have a new sophomore quarterback, your son. What do you expect from him for the rest of the season? What can we see from Caden? What can we expect to see from Caden?
I mean, we need to expect his best. I mean, that's what I expect. I don't have any different expectation from him than I do the rest of our players. I mean, tell them all the time. I mean, the hardest thing in life to do is your best every day. And so that's all we can expect from them is their best. And I think that we looked at things, last Friday night that. There was probably some hesitation or maybe lack of focus, and that goes into that wasn't your best on that play, and the results didn't come out great. I mean, he has grown, he's got better as a quarterback. Thought he was a little off on his decision making last Friday, but I mean, he's only in his fourth game of starting, and he's got a lot more in front of him, and he's just got to continue to grow, continue to get better, continue to have high expectation of himself, and continue to progress. And he's done that up to this far, and I'd be surely disappointed if he didn't do it to continue moving forward.
So for the rest of this week, we have homecoming coming up, so there's a lot of festivities going on this week. How do you keep your players focused in on the main goal this Friday night with all the festivities going on?
Well, I mean, I'd say one thing is they're not really worried about all the festivities at 6 a.m. So, it's one thing to worry about, and that's football. So, I mean, it's part of it. I mean, it's what makes it special. It's what makes it unique. I was having a conversation with another coach this morning that I mean, it's kind of like an American tradition. I mean, just homecoming and football just kind of go, hand in hand. And I mean, it's celebrated all across the state of Texas at every single high school, and I would imagine, all across the country at every single high school. I mean, colleges have it too. So, it's just part of it. You can't get lost in all of everything else that's going on, because bottom line is what truly matters is what happens in between the lines at 7:30 on Friday night. So, I mean, we've got a job to do, and, our guys need to get back to doing our job as efficiently as possible.
So, leading up to Cedar Creek, what are y'all mostly focused on for this Friday night? What are y'all planning on attacking?
I mean, I think the main focus is us. I mean, we've got to be able to get back a little bit of the confidence that we may have been shaken. Last Friday, we certainly came off a great win against Lehman and had a lot of confidence, and then may have been shaken a little bit against Hendrickson, and so we've got to be able to get a little bit of that back. And I mean, how you do it is you just go back to what you do fundamentally. We don't need to go out and be somebody that we're not. We need to be who we are, and our players need to be who they are. We challenge them and ask them, every day in practice and every Friday night is just go out and be the best version of yourself. And I think that's not only a football lesson, but it's really a life lesson for all of us. I mean, we need to be progressive and work to be the best versions of ourselves every day. And if we do that, then we're going to continue to move forward and head in the right direction. So, Cedar Creek certainly presents plenty of challenges for us. But we've got to be the best versions of ourselves and do our job, whatever's asked of us, on either side of the ball.
Yes, sir. Cedar Creek, similar to Lehman, was they're facing a losing streak right now, like Lehman was last year. So, how important do you find it to look past Cedar Creek, or do you not find that important at all, and you're more focused on Cedar Creek?
We're completely tunnel vision, locked in what our job is on Friday. I mean, that's the only thing that matters. I mean, I don't even know who we're playing the following week or anything after that. So, I mean, it's just tunnel vision and laser focused on what we got, this week. And, there's never any conversations about anything else but, who the opponent is. I mean, to me, as I've tried to tell our guys, with some schools that are close and have certainly some relationships, or whatever. I mean, they all got a number on their chest and they all play a specific position. So if, number 14 is running back, then that's who he is. He doesn't have a name or anybody else. I mean, he's just what you need to do, and what does he do to make you your reads to be successful or whatever. So, I mean, we're laser focused on what we got to have in front of us.
I was going to ask you, are you thinking about facing Hayes the next week at all? And just like,
no, I mean, we don't even have no idea about what they do or anything else. So
yes, sir.
It's all about Cedar Creek.
How do you feel the new coaching staff is doing so far this season? It's a very new coaching staff. We haven't seen a lot of these coaches ever. I mean, I'm just now meeting them for the first time, a lot of them. So how do you feel they're doing this season so far, and what do you think they can improve on?
Yeah, no, I think they're awesome. I mean, they're all great men. They all love kids and they all love football. And so when you get those three things in a recipe, I mean, you've got a good staff. And I'm very pleased with our staff across the board, that we've hired, at the high school and junior high. And I'll say our entire athletic staff. I know you were probably leaning a little bit more to how our football staff was, but, we hired a lot of new coaches this year. And I mean, I've just been overly impressed with their work ethic because, number one, I think they love kids. That's the number one thing that we've got to be able to do. And number two, they love their sports and are competitive people. So, I'm pleased. I mean, everybody has an opportunity to be able to grow. And again, I think I mentioned it last week, part of coaching is we're talking about being efficient of our players on the field. You have to use the same efficiency, in coaching as well. Because, I mean, the X's and O's in any sport can get very, very complex, and, you can overcoach a lot of stuff. Our job is to make it as simple as possible. So it doesn't matter what I know, in the game of football. It matters what I can teach and what I can coach
Absolutely.
14 or 18-year-olds to be able to do. So, being able to take complex ideas and break it down to, things that are very, very simple so that kids can understand and execute at a high level is what coaching is.
And that's definitely a very hard thing to do. How do you feel that your team does as far as soaking that knowledge up, being able to take that in?
I think we still have some room for improvement. It's and that's what you get for a young team. There's always a learning curve in everything that you do. And I think that our guys that have been varsity players in the past, we're challenging them to take the next step and play at an elite level, because some of our younger guys that are just now starting to get some varsity reps, are coming along. They were in the same boat whenever they were first-time varsity players too. So, it's just a process you've got to work through.
All right. Well, is there any final thoughts you have about this week or about the team at all?
No, we just we got to rebound, and we're going to show what kind of maturity and competitiveness that we have. So, I thought we had a good day of practice today, and looking forward to the rest of the week.
Yes, sir. Well, it was nice having you.
All right, man. I appreciate you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Go Lions.